What's up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie Casual back at it with a list. I'm gonna get lists at the beginning of the week. It does this better. Plus some combos, so don't be perturbed. Today we're gonna be talking about hyped labels that were ruined by terrible decisions or by the celebrity machine, which is also sometimes a terrible decision. Now, celebrity and these big decisions are a part of fashion. We all know it. It's just sometimes these decisions can be a stake in the heart for a label if not careful. These are labels that had all the cachet in the world because someone somewhere did something dumb, or just a ton of people just said, F it, they lost more than they gained, the brands that is. I got 7 of them for you. Let's get it. Coming in at the top spot, or at least the 7th spot, we got OffWhite. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Listen, OffWhite still exists and a lot of people who still fans, but its fall from grace has been one of those things of recent legend. At its height, it was one of the most coveted labels on the planet, being worn by nearly every hip hop celeb or kid from Hong Kong of note. It still has a Nike collab built off of the success of the 10, which in retrospect is suspect as a triumph of sneaker design, but that's a whole nother list. It still has some cachet, or at least LV, Louis Vuitton, thinks so after acquiring a big chunk of Virgil's baby. But at this point, why though? Seeing OffWhite worn in public today is like seeing someone who just stepped out of a time machine who didn't realize 2017 and 2018 happened, and we don't do that no more. But its biggest boneheaded move was the countless times the brand was called out for copying without referencing how much we hate that, and then proceeded to call out others for doing the same thing to OffWhite, to the point of even taking a brand to court for taking something from OffWhite, which is just mind-blowing. So a lot of people lost a bit of respect for OffWhite after that. Next up, we got Hood by Air, Shane Oliver's claim to fame. Straight off the hills of health goth, street goth, that aesthetic. HBA was basically the grandpappy of the whole streetwear as luxury vibe, at least on a global level, at least globally known. Certainly forgotten Japanese labels are all over the place and looked over consistently like Mastermind. But anyway, Hood by Air was being courted by one ASAP Rockness himself, who took it upon himself to basically strangle the label into submission, as apparently he felt that he should be a part owner of the brand because he was responsible for blowing it up. I mean, this is all according to him, and this is all hearsay and speculation, but the fact that it's out there, it ain't a good look. But Shane began receiving a whole lot more views outside of the whole as soon as possible crew, ASAP crew, and the general fashion industry began to love his work, which is awesome. That was until it was revealed that Shane's Hood by Air was gender fluid, to say the least. And if you know anything about street and its issues with that topic, well, let's just say that it's a less than cordial relationship. Basically, overly sensitive about their masculinity, streetwear fans ditched the label once they saw a runway and did a whole ass umbaku of Hood by Air. And it was just like, we will not have it. But since years have passed, HBA, Hood by Air, is making a comeback into the industry. Now people kind of understand where it's coming from, so here's towards progress, perhaps. Perhaps, we'll see. Next is CDG Play. Listen, CDG Play has to, it's obvious. CDG Play was so overhyped when it was revealed to the world that people thought CDG Play was the official label of Comme des Garçons, or Comme des Garçons, it's a Japanese label, whatever. Now, I've said this several times on this very channel, but that damn heart just won't go away, or at least people won't let it go. The problem with Play is that it essentially became a get out of the normal street card for anyone who wanted to show off their vast fashion knowledge. Started with CDG Play, okay. Simply put, Play was ruined by oversaturation, due in no small part to so many people simply taking a surface level look at Comme des Garçons as the label. It got so bad that Comme had to open up a whole nother brand in CDG ×3 to get people away from seeing hearts all the damn time. To no avail, to be honest. Play still sells out when it drops, but it isn't nearly as impactful as when it first released, which is a shame. Next is Ed Hardy. Yes, And we did a whole ass synopsis on the downfall of Ed, so go ahead and take a look at that. But it's worth revisiting the tragedy of such a mind-numbingly successful label to its now present apparent vintage revival, along with Von Dutch, or like, at least that's what people keep on telling. Yo, you don't even know what's happening in America, dog. Von Dutch, Ed Hardy, they already came back. Everybody's wearing it. Okay. But Ed Hardy's L's piled up heavy during the early 2000s, and there was nothing Christian Audigier, John and Kate Plessade, or them kids from Jersey Shore could do anything about it. Mainly because it was all their fault. It fell precipitously from grace, from putting Christian Audigier on every Ed Hardy piece to just being associated with the epitome of douche wear. Ed Hardy didn't have a shot until people totally forgot about its checkered past. And it is very checkered, super checkered. All the checkers, all of them. Bape! You knew Bape was gonna make this list, right? I mean, it's me. It's me. It's more of a joke for people who love Bape than it's seriously being ruined. I mean, come on. I mean, I do make a big deal out of Bape being trash, but it's trash that's very close to my heart. But, you know, if you like trash, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Because the bigger question to all of this is, am I joking or am I serious right now? Am I serious? Come on. Now, we all know the story Bape cashed out literally once Nigo dipped out. It took some time to come back, but people often forget that Bape's fall was largely Nigo's fault. I mean, we all love Nigo, we do, but he kind of ran the brand into the ground by insisting it was dummy limited and overhyping the crap out of it. So people just stopped caring because they couldn't get anything. That is until it got bought out and more recently became an independent label again, so full circle. But yeah, Bape was ruined by bad business decisions and then revived by a company that wanted to make money. And everyone is better, more or less, for it. So Bape is better, or is it still trash? I don't know, that's totally up to you. Nobody knows, which is great. Rounding out the top two, Inwall. And boy, this is a story. This is one of those fair warnings to all those people who think simply put celebrity in brand and then it's okay, and then go. Is like a way to achieve success in fashion, because it ain't. Well, not always, but most of the time it's just a bad way. Anyway, Rob Garcia of Black Scale alum left Black Scale to start his own label, Inwall. Its claim to fame being those black leather sweatpants worn by like every famous celeb known to man, at least in the hip hop sphere. Not all of them, but a lot. And practicality aside, the leather sweatpants, they achieved so much fanfare that they were in high demand everywhere. Thing is, the brand had barely just started. Like, the only people who got some gear were on the dummy ground floor. Seriously, if you have some black sweatpants by Inwall, you are probably a legend. Long story short, they couldn't fulfill the orders, that is Inwall, to buyers, boutiques, and themselves. And they had to shutter the doors well before they even left the gate. It was a travesty of epic proportions. The brand now exists as an offshoot of Black Scale in a way, not sure, but it just goes to show that preparedness can go a long way in this game. That's all I gotta say about that. And number one, Kuji. Yep, you know, I told myself I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, but F it, I'm gonna do it. Let's do this. It's not Kuji's fault it's associated with the Jello guy, and in no way should we fault them for that. But just like Ed Hardy, whomever is associated with any label and or brand can and often goes a long way. Sure, Notorious B.I.G. made the still incredible knits even bigger, all big puns intended, but many people also associate them with Cliff Huxtable, and that's just not a good association in this climate. But here's where the boneheaded situation comes in. Those Cliff Huxtable sweaters aren't even Kuji. That's right, they never made a sweater for the Jello pudding. Nope, not one. That honor goes to Dutch designer Koos van der Akker, who also dressed Cher, Cyril John, and Barbara Walters. So never say I didn't put you on anything, but also the designer passed in 2015. So that is unfortunate, that is sad on both fronts. But for Australian brand Kuji, it's a close second worse because too many damn people associated the label with Felicia Rashad's TV husband, literally calling them Cosby sweaters. Kuji is simply a victim of mistaken identity or people not researching, the thing people try to get on me about, which is funny because I just put your hip to who actually made those sweaters. But in any case, for all those cats that are looking at that Kuji in the closet, break it out. Wear it with pride, but also be prepared to explain it to a vast majority of people that have no idea where it comes from. How about we just stop referring to Kuji sweaters as Cosby sweaters and just call them Cosby sweaters? That would be great. Or Notorious sweaters or something infinitely cooler than that. Anyway, what do you think? What other labels were ruined by boneheaded decisions or even celebrities? Let them be known in the comments. And if you want even more convo on fashion or want to learn how to start your own personal and or fashion brand, join us on Patreon for our special series class and our private Discord filled with individuals doing the same thing. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info in international street fashion culture and business from Tokyo this. It's your boy and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I'll see you guys in a minute. We out. Till the next one. Done.